What's up, everybody? Welcome to the MP podcast number 2. Today's podcast is brought to you by iFly's new diet app. If you're pushing that 300-pound mark and you don't know how to get those pesky few pounds under control, then book a day to go indoor skydiving. It'll motivate you to drop those 10-plus pounds in a week. iFly's new diet app is available in the App Store. iFly does not endorse losing over 10 pounds in a week, but if you have to, get the app. Thanks, iFly.
Jesus. When did you write that? Like a week ago?
Like this weekend?
Yeah. Guy comes to me like last week.
I knew immediately.
Yeah, and he's like,
as soon as you said it.
He's like, I want to intro the next podcast. And I was like, all right. Adam clearly wrote something for this. I'm Lincoln.
I'm A-Bomb.
Yeah, what's up? Welcome back to the Mini Pirates podcast. This week it's Mini Pirates. How was your weekend?
It was fast.
Yeah, it went by quick.
It was fast.
Well, and actually, happy Thanksgiving to everybody as well.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Because today is the Thanksgiving Monday. So we want to wish everybody this isn't coming out on Thanksgiving, but happy Thanksgiving nonetheless.
But we want you to feel bad because we're filming it.
Yeah.
On a Monday. And
yeah.
you're eating turkey and we're filming.
Everybody will be eating turkey leftovers by the time they're watching this. But yes,
True.
Everyone is already eating turkey right now while we're doing this. So yeah, your weekend went quick, hey?
Yeah, it was quick. Like, I obviously haven't been working. I've been laid off for the last little while, working part-time here. Mm-hmm. Now going full-time recently. Having a full week of work is a new experience for me in the last year. So this weekend flew by. So it was good, though.
I bet.
Yours?
It also flew by. We did Friendsgiving on Friday night, which was really good. Just like small, intimate, and our friend makes really good food. She made this, I want to talk about one of the dishes that she made.
Yeah?
It was eggplant. It was 2 slices of eggplant.
Wait, already? I'm like, huh?
Right?
Okay.
In between the eggplant slices was pesto and roasted red peppers.
Okay.
2 of like my favorite flavors in the world.
Yeah.
And like combined, they're unreal. On top, on the top piece of eggplant, she put goat cheese.
Okay.
On top of that, and then prosciutto, like little pieces of prosciutto, almost like crumbled bacon.
Yeah.
On the top of that, and oh my god!
Wait, was the eggplant coated, or was it just like it was just bare, like fried in a pan eggplant?
Yeah. So she like took the eggplant and pardon me.
Yeah.
She took the eggplant and she said she sweated it. Like she took it and so that it wouldn't
get... It's a difficult vegetable to cook. Like I know that from experience. It can get really soggy.
Yes.
And like it doesn't have much flavor and it's kind of tough to like
I know it, and that actually is
it.
really nice that it doesn't have a whole lot of flavor, but it still has a lot of substance to it because it is it's almost like a meaty vegetable. Like it's thick enough that you can substitute. That's why eggplant parmigiana and like stuff like that works. Yeah, is because the eggplant is kind of a meaty vegetable,
like thicker,
but it doesn't have very much of a taste. So that's where in like eggplant parmigiana, it's the sauce and the cheese and stuff that's really bringing that dish together. In this case, she sweated the eggplant overnight. So she took paper towel and she sliced the eggplant and then stuck it in between pieces of paper towel to like kind of suck out a lot of that moisture.
Yeah.
So that it wasn't a big deal. And then literally, because I was the one she was dealing with her baby and her mom was doing something else. So I was the one that took those out of the oven and like plated them and stuff. And I was looking at it going, oh my God, like what is this? It looked appetizing enough, but it was like basically pure vegetables.
Yeah, stacked on each other.
Stacked on vegetables.
And you're like,
with like a little bit of prosciutto on top,
yeah.
right? And not that I don't, there's like so many vegetables I do love.
Yeah.
But like I didn't know eggplant was one of them. Now I do.
Yeah.
And I told her, it's funny, I was like because I like to razz her a lot.
Yeah.
Have you met my friend Tori?
I haven't met her, but you've talked about her lots
yeah.
and her kids. So.
Yes. I love to razz her, and she's like, it's really fun to bug her and stuff like that.
She probably takes it like a champ.
Oh, she does, 100%. And she tries to bug me back, but she's like, she's always just like, I'm too nice, and like it doesn't. I always like give in too soon, and I'm like, you shouldn't. I was like, you should really.
We worked in a place with like 600 people.
Yeah, I was like
a bunch of dudes. We can take it.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah. Anyway, I was like, in regards to the eggplant dish, I was like, the only thing that would have elevated it even more. And she goes, oh, here we go.
Chef Lincoln.
Yeah, Chef Lincoln. And I was like, no. Honestly, I was like, it's amazing. I had 3 of them. Like, nice. Like 3 things. Oh, they were so good. The only thing that would have made it, like, elevated it even just that little bit more. And I told her, I was like, just a little drizzle of like balsamic reduction on top.
Oh, yeah, nice.
And she was like 100. She was like, I 100% agree with you. And she's like, I just ran out of this really good, like thick balsamic reduction that she had kicking around. She's like, I literally ran out of it like 3 days ago. So otherwise, I would have put it on top of this.
Yeah, nice. Like, a little bit of sweetness, tangy of the vinegar. Yeah, that would have been good.
She also, she didn't make turkey. Because she doesn't really.
Thank God.
She doesn't really.
Can we talk about how shitty turkey is?
Well, we'll get there because I like turkey, but we'll get there.
One of those.
I like turkey, but she cooked 2 just like regular sized chickens, and they were so
nice.
We were like, oh my God, the chicken was so good, and she was like, I don't want to tell you how much butter I put on that. And I was like, that sounds about right, because it was so juicy and tender and just delicious. Oh. You don't like turkey?
No. So what are let's go back to Thanksgiving quickly. So give me your top 3 favorite Thanksgiving like things like for the meal that you really like. I know there's lots of things that you can do. Oh yeah. But what's your top 3 that really make Thanksgiving for you?
Okay, so if I'm having a plate of Thanksgiving dinner, I'm having stuffing, mashed potatoes, turkey, gravy on top of all of that. Maybe some carrots.
Okay.
Just to add a little bit of color to the plate because it's pretty gray at that point.
Yeah.
Or gray and brown.
Gray and brown, yeah. I mean, the sides are always, everyone does like basically the same things, same 3-4 things, which is like you have your potatoes generally, you have your meat, your protein, you have your stuffing and gravy. Those are like kind of the 4 mains, and then the sides is where people are like, oh, we do broccoli cheese, we do carrots, we do asparagus, we do eggplant, whatever with goat cheese, and you know, so that's where it kind of goes into where.
Well, and it's funny. I want that eggplant thing. I want that to be like a staple at Thanksgiving now. Nice. I want that. I want
tradition.
Yes, I want that to become a tradition. To that point, so.
But yeah, I'm not a turkey guy. I'm not.
That's fair.
I never have been.
I'm like I want all the, and like when I say stuffing, I want like stovetop, like in the box.
Oh, I'm the opposite.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So when Krista and I started dating and we started having holidays and having Thanksgiving and stuff like that, her mom would make they would make their own like variation. They have their like own stuffing bowl.
Right, yeah, 100%. It's like their own tradition around the stuffing.
Well, they call it dressing, right?
Oh, fancy.
Yeah,
they
call it dressing. Yeah, it's not stuffing, it's dressing.
Okay.
But they make their own, and it's not bad. It's not, like, it is good. It's just, it's a different...
So wait, they don't cook it in the bird? Like
no.
The traditional. So she makes it on the side.
I'm pretty sure she makes it on...
like stovetop on the side, you mean?
No. She doesn't make... No. She's making her own... From scratch.
Okay.
And so I had always just had stovetop growing up because it was like that's what everybody made, and that's
white people.
I guess yes.
White people, you buy it in a box, I'll make it.
It's 99 cents at the grocery store,
cheap.
And like you can literally have stuffing any time of the year. But I don't eat it. I don't eat it year round because there's no point. But anyway, so
stuffing
when we started dating, it was kind of like her mom. They make 2 now. They make stovetop. For me, and they make their own. Yes,
special boy.
Well, it takes 30 seconds to make it because it's like you're literally just pouring a cup of water in like freeze-dried bread. Yeah, breadcrumbs, and then it's not that I don't like her stuffing. It's just like that wasn't.
That's not your tradition.
Yeah, that's not tradition to. And so I'm just trying to preserve those 99-cent. I'm keeping stovetop alive single-handedly. This episode brought to you by Stovetop Stuffing.
Right.
But so it's kind of even today. They're literally at home. Well, I don't know if they are yet, but they will be in a couple hours.
Yep.
cooking our turkey, and they will be, I'm pretty sure they have a box of stovetop so that I can have
Nice.
my stuffing this year.
Nice.
But I want to know, so you're not a turkey guy?
No, I'm not. I never really have been. Growing up, like, we would always have Thanksgiving at my grandma's house. That was like our tradition. And my grandma, for the first, like, up until maybe I was like 0 to like 12, 13, we would alternate what our Thanksgiving would be. So some years we would have turkey. Some years we would have ham. Sometimes we'd have ribs or a roast. Like, we'd go like out of the box. But then as I got into my teens, it kind of slowly, and our families grew, it kind of just became one. It would just be turkey. And that's fine. Like, if I'm going to have turkey, I'm a dark meat guy. Same with chicken. Like, that's just how I roll. But, yeah, I just never – it was always dry. And, like, yeah, you can dump gravy on it. I don't know. It's fine. Turkey sandwiches the next day are good. I just prefer ham. That's just where my mind goes to pork. I want ham. I want to have, like, ham and mustard sandwiches the next day. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not a hater. I'll come over and eat your turkey, but it might not be my preference.
Hey, that's fair. I mean – see, and I'm the complete opposite. If I had to choose between ham and only having one, I'm picking turkey.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I'm not a dark meat guy. I'm a light meat guy. I'm like purely
Got that dry white meat.
Yeah, but
that's fair.
Oh man, but like turkey buns the next day. Oh, that is where
the leftovers for sure is like the killer.
I hit a certain point with Well, I hit a certain point with turkey dinners in general a few years ago, because if you really think about it, or like I was breaking it down with Krista the other day, where I was like, you have turkey dinners a minimum, or at least here in Canada, we have a minimum 2 times a year.
Yeah.
October, December.
Maybe Easter.
That's
just depending.
And that's what we've kind of started doing now
Thanksgiving,
too.
Christmas, Easter might be the 3 times that you would have that.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of what's started happening at our house now too, is that Easter generally we're doing ham though. Like, we're not but there is a big dinner happening with mashed potatoes and stuffing.
Right.
But it's either turkey or ham at Easter time.
Got you.
For Thanksgiving and Christmas, there's definitely turkey involved.
Yeah.
And I would say probably like maybe 5 or 6 years ago now, because we used to go to my aunt's house for every single family dinner.
Okay.
When all my family lived here, like all of us used to go there for Thanksgiving. We used to go there for Christmas, and like it was great. I miss those times, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now that none of my family lives here and stuff, but I just hit this point where it was kind of like it just felt like it's too much, and Thanksgiving
like
and
too much food or too much
it's just
work?
so well. No, it's not too much work for me. Like literally, they love doing it. They love hosting, having the giant dinner. It's just too much. Like, it was just like too much of the same. Where it was kind of like, okay, like I think I hit a point where I was like, if I never have turkey for the rest of my life, like a turkey Thanksgiving dinner, I would probably be okay. I would be all right, because honestly, it was just like, it's the same.
Yeah.
And I've kind of come back around on it. It's the same thing with pumpkin pie. Like, we literally picked up a pumpkin pie for Krista this weekend when we were out shooting that other video. And I had said to you, I was like, yep, if I never have pumpkin pie for the rest of my life, I'm good.
Yeah.
Because I've eaten enough pumpkin pie up to this point in my life.
I've never had my pumpkin pie.
It doesn't matter, though. It all tastes the same.
That's what everyone says, though.
It all tastes the same.
You haven't had my mom's pumpkin pie.
I know, but it literally all tastes the same.
Is it pumpkin, nutmeg, and cinnamon?
I would rather.
I don't like it.
If you want to give me like an apple crumble or even an apple pie.
There's so many other fall desserts you could go into.
Can we also talk about? I said
pecan pie. Would you eat pecan pie?
I had pecan pie on Friday.
So you would.
So she had
that's
the
like
option.
an alternative to pumpkin is a pecan pie.
Which is kind of what pecan pie, which is kind of what I hope for in those instances where it's like, it's a dinner like that, and it's like, oh yeah, we have pumpkin pie for dessert. I'll opt out. Like, I don't need to pumpkin pie. But if there's pecan and pumpkin, like if there's a choice, yeah, I'll have a little bit of the pecan pie. At the same time, this is what I was saying to Krista on the way home. It's great that pie is a dessert for those. But I was like, can we normalize having cakes at dinners like that? Yeah. Because why is cake only associated with birthdays? That's so stupid to me. Why can't it be like, let's have
a cake? When else would you have a cake?
Literally just birthdays.
Yeah.
Or cakes for birthdays, graduations.
Right.
Um,
I'm trying to think. My mind is blank.
like,
trying to come up with other times you would have cake.
like a retirement party.
Yeah.
So like if somebody's leaving
Yeah,
work
true.
or like
True. Like
or in the case of Back to the Future when Joey's getting out of jail, so jailbird Joey
yeah, right.
flew the coop.
Right.
Those are the
I
instant.
love cake.
Oh, dude, I love
man.
cake too. That's the
Yeah.
thing, and that's what I was saying to her on the way home. I'm like, why can we not normalize?
Yeah, it's weird. I agree.
Because I was gonna joke around with Tori and be like, "Oh, did you like?" Because she was like, "Oh, I'm making a few of your favorites." That's what she said to me when I was like, and I was gonna be like, "Oh, did you also get Black Forest cake for dessert?" But like, and like I would have said, I didn't actually end up saying that, but like jokingly, I would have said that, and it's like, it would have been legit. Like,
It's funny
Why
you
is
say
there
Black
not-
Forest cake. For growing up forever, my mom was a baker. That's why I'm fat. So she would always make stuff.
She was a baker?
Well, no, like she was an at-home hobby baker.
Oh, gotcha.
So she'd be like, I'm stressed, and she'd bake
My
like
mom too,
24
yeah.
cupcakes.
Yeah.
But she wouldn't eat them.
Cookies. My mom would make
or
cookies.
or whatever, like bars, cake, whatever.
Yep.
And my mom would be like, well, I'm not going to eat it, so you eat it. So now I'm like forced to eat all this anyways. So this isn't a therapy session.
yeah, but it kind of is.
So growing up, my mom would always be like, what kind of cake do you want me to make you for your birthday? I'll make you anything. Like literally, I could be like, can you make me like a triple chocolate truffle? Like she would make it, right?
Yeah.
And I'd be like, can you just get a Black Forest cake from Safeway? And she would be so
Offended.
yeah, but kind at the same time because she wants me to be happy on my birthday. But she wanted to bake me a cake, and I'm like, just go get a Black Forest cake from Safeway because I love those cakes.
Yeah.
I love like that. The like cheap icing
Yep.
with the cherry, like the cheap.
It's not even icing. It's like
No,
whipped
it's like
cream.
whipped cream,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
that like
Yep.
fake like whipped Vaseline version of it, like
but
like,
also good.
so good.
Sobeys. Is it Sobeys that does the one that has all of the sprinkles all the way
Like
at
the
ch-
shavings.
No. It's
Oh,
like
I haven't
actual
seen that.
like chocolate sprinkles, and they
Oh.
coat the entire like it's like the entire outside is just solid chocolate sprinkles all the way around on their black. I think it's Sobeys that does it.
Crazy.
On their Black Forest cake, their Black Forest. If
I'm
that's
so
who I'm
hungry.
thinking of, it's.
You're making me so.
I know.
We're talking about Parmesan and Thanksgiving.
I know because you
and,
can't
like,
eat because you're stupid, you stupid tooth. No, I know that's. Well, it's Thanksgiving. Of
No,
course
no.
you're-
I'm just starting to get
No.
hungry. That's why. So
But yeah, the whole point of that being that I think.
cake should be definitely normalized into more events.
Yeah.
I think it should be a more wide range of dessert possibilities at every event.
Well, yeah, and especially like not that long ago, this I in one weekend, just for fun, we got invited out to like a couple different dinners. At like one friend, he had dry aged some steaks for like 35 days or something.
Rad.
So they were like a month ahead of time. They were like, on this day, you guys are coming over for dinner. We're gonna have these crazy steaks, and we were like,
Cool.
rad, awesome, great.
That sounds rad.
And I was like, what can I bring? And they were like, bring a dessert. And I was like, cool. And I'm like, when somebody tells you to bring a dessert, like what would you normally go and get for a dessert? Probably like little bars or a pie or
don't
just
even
like
know, man.
like you
Yeah.
would go to the grocery store and you would just like cookies or
buy
just something
something.
simple, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I'm bringing a Dairy Queen ice cream cake.
Nice.
Just for fun.
Yeah.
Didn't get anything written on it, but I was like, I'm bringing an ice cream cake. So I showed up with this ice cream cake and they were like, what the hell?
That's awesome.
Because they're expensive too. They're like,
Oh, dude, they're like 40, 35, $40 sometimes.
depending on the size. Yeah, they're like they've gotten Dairy Queen cakes.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
Have gone up in price so much. It's crazy how
Yeah, yeah.
expensive they are now. But in one weekend, I bought 3 cakes because we had those dinners, and then the next dinner was like for somebody's birthday, but it was like, what can we bring? And they were like, just bring dessert, and I was like, okay, ice cream cake it is. Like that, not that I want to be like the ice cream cake guy, but I'm just kind of like, why not? Like
Switch it up.
yeah, like why
Be
not?
inventive.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I
May
like
as
that.
well.
Yeah.
And then so that whether it's like because you can get the log shaped ones, not that they're like really any cheaper, or you can get the small round, the big round, and then I think they have a sheet version of it of the ice cream cake at Dairy Queen. But it's just like that's a fun thing, and everybody loves Dairy Queen.
Oh, for sure, definitely.
Everyone loves Dairy Queen ice cream
Yeah.
cakes, so you cannot lose bringing a Dairy Queen ice cream cake.
Right, except for they have to clear out their freezer to make room for...
Which she literally did.
Well, because that's the downside, is that you're bringing something that has to stay frozen. And most people's freezers...
my
no, I know, but
problem.
most people's freezers are chuck.
Oh, yeah,
but I just think that's
my
funny.
problem.
You're like, here's a 25-pound cake. Can
Yes.
you please put this somewhere?
Yes. Yeah, that's literally... And it's funny because in his...
He's like throwing peas and corn and pizza pops on the ground.
Thankfully, most people do have a deep freeze.
True,
but
yeah.
It's...
Or secondary fridge in their freezer. Like, lots of people do that, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the point being that cake should be more
I
commonly associated with...
You know what? Fuck regular food. Let's just have cake all the time. Let's just eat cake dessert for breakfast.
Well, okay, so I don't know. I have to find out where
breakfast cake.
Yes, breakfast cake. Well, I mean, we eat muffins.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's the same thing.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty much the same thing.
It's literally the same thing.
Especially, yeah.
So,
did you ever get that footage, by the way?
So we got it yesterday, thankfully.
Awesome.
So I wanna show you that really quick.
Yeah.
Just kind of, not the whole thing, but I want to kind of show you, right? So she jumps in, she's like, all right. And she stands right in front of the camera, so you don't see my entrance, which kind of sucks, but whatever. And then, so he's holding me by the belly, and then you'll see he just kind of like at a certain point, he's just going to let go of me.
Yeah.
Right here, see?
Oh.
So then I'm kind of, he's
on his
not
own.
touching me.
No,
he's not touching me.
No.
And so I'm kind of, and I didn't know that. So I thought.
He was touching you the whole time. Yeah.
And so for the most part, because it kind of felt like he was touching me for a lot of it. And look, he's just like not touching me at all. I'm bumping into the glass like Grandpa Joe and Charlie and Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. That's what this kind of felt like.
Yeah.
In a weird way. And then
you look good doing it, dude.
Yeah, like
you got good form.
See, like you can see they're all just like, yeah, he's killing it.
She's like clapping for you. And
yeah, and I don't know if he like pushed me down there or if like you'll see at a certain point. I don't know when it is, but she'll kind of look at me and go like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah.
Because he swings me around. Okay, yeah, I'm bummed. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm kind of. I think I look at them here in a sec. Oh. I don't know where. Oh yeah, so he's flying with me now.
With you, yeah.
Now he's flying with me, and I'm like, oh shit, I don't know if I like this, but this was fine. I mean, it must have happened before this because it was like I think I had 20 seconds left, and I looked at them and I was like, I'm done. And then he's gonna pick me up, push me to the door, and I'm out.
Nice.
And that was that.
Sweet.
And then you'll kind of see. I'll show you this like
her Swan Lake.
Yeah, so watch when she does that, and then she just gone.
Later.
Yeah, and all the way to the roof, like 50 feet in the air, and then it's like a trampoline.
Right. Yeah.
To them, it's kind of cool. She's gonna come swirling around.
Is it like a revolving door?
No,
This door is
open, and then there's kind of a door that opens on the other side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it actually like it's hilarious how like the way I talked about it last podcast and how like scared I was and like all that, and then you watch the footage and you're like, oh yeah, it's like it doesn't seem that like anxiety inducing or like it doesn't seem that crazy when you're watching the footage. We're like, dude, you're fine, you're just floating there or whatever. But it's way different when you're like in it.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, it's way different when you're in it.
I think the more that I've gotten to know people with anxiety and the more like people have been sharing with me, like as friends and family, about their anxiety and how many people suffer from it. I personally don't necessarily, for the most part. I told you my instances of when I get like that anxiety, but for the day-to-day kind of things, I don't really have that. So, but I'm starting to understand like what it's like for people who do have anxiety and doing things like that. I can definitely see, like, I don't think I would have anxiety. I would be nervous probably, but I don't think I would be like, having that feeling of like I want to quit. I would be more nervous about what was about to happen.
It's kind of like
if that makes sense.
Yep, 100%. So it's like exactly what you're talking about. This like nervousness that also culminates in this wave of.
But it's like a fight or flight.
Yes,
you always get that like trigger that you want to run.
And that's what I get on planes. And I hate that. Like if something happens on a plane, I'm just like,
you can't go anywhere.
I can't go anywhere, and then it gets worse because it just like snowballs. And like on a particularly bad flight, I'm just like, the only thing I can do is put my head against the
all you can do is ride it out
and just like hope for the best.
Yeah.
And like I've had so many flights like that where it's just like the worst you're just snowballing the worst possible.
Yeah, your mind won't stop.
Hilariously, I probably watched like one of the worst movies I could have probably watched for myself yesterday, but I watched Final Destination, the first one, because I was like, I haven't seen this in a long time, and like the beginning of that movie is like the plane exploding, and that's what sets off the whole the whole
trigger
thing,
events, yeah.
and the whole time, like all that stuff. The beginning of that movie when he's like, and like, because Devon Sawa's character is like just super uneasy about like getting on the plane and going.
I remember
and, like,
he has that intuitive nervousness.
yes, and then he goes through the whole thing, and then all of a sudden he wants to get off the plane, like after his premonition or whatever. And I'm like, I could feel it. I'm like feeling all of that, where I was just like,
You're like, I know. What
and
he's
I'm
going
looking
through.
at that, going like, I don't know how I'm ever gonna get to go to Europe. I don't know how I'm gonna how am I gonna
You're
ever
gonna have to take a boat.
I kind of want to take a boat, but I also don't want to take a boat. Yeah, like no, thank you. So I'm really looking at that, going like, man, I'm gonna have to figure that out if I ever want to go anywhere.
So right now, no desire to fly. Like
No,
push come to shove.
yeah,
Like if you were like, well,
that's the thing, and that's the thing is like,
how long has it been? When was the last time you flew anywhere?
The last time I flew anywhere was, I can tell you the exact date I flew. It was in 2019, and it was.
When was the last time you didn't fly anywhere for 2
So
years?
I think the last time I flew was April 16th.
Okay.
No, maybe it might have been before that, because remember we were flying in, fly out.
Yeah.
When we worked up there, and so my last week up north, I didn't fly. I drove.
Yeah, you drove. I remember you told me. Yeah.
So because I had hit that point where I was like, I'm done. I am
yeah.
done.
The light at the end of the tunnel was
Yep.
there.
I was like, I have one more rotation left. I am done flying. It was sometime in April of 2019 was the last
But
time.
it was work related.
Yep.
Oh, I wouldn't think that. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't. It would have been. So I would have like flown up for my rotation, and then I would have flown home, and that would have been
That
the
was
last
it.
time.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the second last time you were home.
The second last time, my second last week, and then the last week I drove my truck up there. That was the last time I flew, and yeah, I just don't. It's not that I.
Even though you don't like flying, though, you do like traveling. So when was the last time in your life you didn't go anywhere for 2 years?
Well, there's also been a
COVID.
pandemic.
Oh, no. I know. I'm just saying, given the pandemic, right? It's
Yeah.
just funny. So
It is, and that, yeah. It's weird. It's a weird, because I did travel so much, and I just hit that point where
and travel was so much a part of your life.
The part-
you and Krista going on trips all the time,
The-
traveling for
yeah.
work all the time. Like there was always traveling.
yeah, and I've flown by myself too. Like I flew to LA one time for 24 hours
Yeah.
by myself.
see- yeah.
Flew there and back.
Yeah.
I went to the New Beverly Cinema. That's a story I'll tell on a different podcast. But yeah, I flew to LA for literally less than 24 hours. Like got a hotel by myself, did all that by myself, and I was fine. And I've flown to Toronto by myself. I've flown so many places I've traveled by myself. I've traveled with Krista. I've done all that. And I think I've hit this point where, because of the pandemic and because I had hit that point of like, I was just so sick of getting on planes and sitting at airports, because we spend a lot of time sitting and waiting for planes at airports, and just, like I was just so, it just hit this point of diminishing returns where I was just kind of like, I'm done. I don't need
I was
to.
completely burnt out after
Yeah.
I left from up there.
Yeah.
And my sched flying 2 times a week.
Your
I was
sched
flying
sucked.
10 times a month.
Your sched sucked way
10 plus
worse.
times a month. It's fine though. It doesn't matter. It was something that I picked, and like that's fine. But after flying like 10 times a month for 2.5 years, I got home from that and I was like, I had no desire.
Nope.
Even if you were like, I have free tickets to go see a New York, I don't give a fuck. I'm not going.
Yeah.
I was completely signed out of flying.
Yeah.
Hated the process. Everyone hates
Yeah.
flying. No one likes it.
No,
So
nobody likes it at all.
Especially if you travel a lot, you're annoyed with everybody else because they
Yes.
don't know how to travel.
Well,
Like,
yeah.
let's talk about that. I'm
Well,
just kidding. That's a whole
no,
other
but
podcast.
I've hit this point. I have hit this point with flying in particular, not traveling, because I have no problem. That's why
Totally.
That's why when you and I went to Victoria, I drove. That's why when Krista and I went to Victoria, I drove, and subsequently Vancouver, I drove. That's why anywhere. That's why we're like anywhere I'm going right now, I'm driving, because it's just I don't right now I don't necessarily feel like getting on a plane, especially right now. I think, well, there's a lot of angry, entitled people getting on planes right now, and that's what's like. We're seeing incidences on planes and people just like.
Yeah, I read the other day they said that pre-COVID incidences on planes that would require police involvement was at a certain number.
Yeah.
And then since then, so basically from 2019 to current, has gone up over 700%.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Incidences on planes. Mostly dealing with unmasked incidences. So
mask and just like the amount of videos I've seen of people just being just animals for no reason.
Yes.
Like there's been two
fist fighting.
There
on
was
a plane.
There was 2 instances over the summer where people got duct taped to their seat because they.
Yeah, I saw that
one
one
dude
guy
was trying to grope a flight attendant, and the other girl was just being really, really like just terrible.
I remember I saw 2 passengers had to get on top of the guy and put their knees like on his arms and on his legs.
The guy who got duct taped?
Yeah, the guy who got duct taped. They had 2 passengers like me and you laying on top of him. Like, oh my, can you imagine trying to fly somewhere and then that's happening?
And then he's screaming for help.
Oh, yeah.
Like dude, give me a break. Like as if anybody's going to help you after that. Absolutely not. No, I
can't imagine flying like
I think with me, there's all of that. I have all of that anxiety of like what could potentially happen on a flight if somebody wants to be shitty or whatever. Or like there was like some dude that was like, let me off the plane, and they were landing. He's like standing there and he's like, let me off the plane. And they're like, go sit down. We're like not even taxiing. We are descending. We are still in the air. Sit down. And he's like, you can't hold it. And he's like screaming at the flight attendants, like, you can't hold us here. Like, this is bullshit, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, dude, we're still in the air. What are you doing? Like, sit down. Man. So it's just like you have all these crazy people that are flying and just being ridiculous for no reason. So I have all of that anxiety, like seeing all that stuff where I'm like, I don't want to get on a plane because of that. And then I have all the stuff pre that where I'm just like, I don't want to get on the plane for my own reasons where I'm just like, not. I used to be terrified of flying, and then when I took that job up north where I was going to be flying so much, I just told myself, I was like, you can't be afraid of this. You have to get over this. Yeah. And I was good. I was good for like 3.5 years. And then we had some really, really bad flights, and the PTSD came back and it got worse. Yeah. And the bad flights just like happened more often, and it all compounded, and that's why when I hit that point in 2019 where we were done in April, and I was just like, I'm done. I don't want to step foot on another plane. Yeah. I will get back there for sure, but I think it's going to take me some time. Fair. And there's nothing wrong with that necessarily. It's just kind of like I have to find my way back to it. And because like I want to go back, I want to go like there's like so many places I want to go see still.
Definitely.
And so many places that Krista wants to go see.
Yeah.
And now that like even just Disneyland, like I want to just go back to Disneyland. Yeah. Which because they've got opened all that new stuff there, and like I think about that where I'm like, yes, I want to go to Disneyland, and then I think about
like how do I get there? Oh yeah.
Well, and then I think but that's the thing.
Can we drive there? Googling how to drive there.
Yes, I have. Because I when I look at like, I want to go to Vegas and I want to go to Disneyland and stuff like that, I'm looking up how long does it take to drive there? How long? I'm not looking up.
Yeah, that's fair.
So it's that part. That part will be. It'll take me some time, but I'll get back to it eventually.
That's fair.
Maybe a little bit of the old therapy. When it comes to my willpower and being able to do things, I know I have a lot of willpower.
You totally do.
Because, case in point, the fact that I just dropped smoking in January. Yeah. And it's now, we're like...
Or how about you lost 10 pounds in a week? Well, willpower.
Yeah, but that was like mostly water weight and whatever. No, the smoking thing I'm super proud of because that alone, like we're at like 10 months now or something of no smoking. Yep. Like into the 10th month of no smoking. And that was literally just like I fought through the initial 2 to 3 weeks of like going through the nicotine withdrawals and just trying not to go and buy a pack of cigarettes to like combat that or whatever. And like here I am 10 months later, I'm like, okay, I was able to do that. Yeah. But because I quit smoking,
which is one of the hardest things they say to do.
Yes. Yes, but as a result of that, my anxieties have gone up because I don't have cigarettes to hide behind.
Yeah, you used to use. Yeah, I can totally see that.
So that's where it's kind of like, oh, I have to.
The pendulum has swung. Now you're in full anxiety mode because you don't have really an immediate way to combat that, which was cigarettes.
Yeah.
You know, I was always worried about you because we both smoked for many years.
Yeah.
And I quit, I quit just after the Fort Mac fires.
Okay, yeah. So
because I got a really bad lung infection, and then I was like, you know what? I'm done. I don't want to smoke anymore. I've already smoked for half of my life. I don't want to smoke anymore. So I just quit cold turkey.
Yeah.
And I remember you asked me a couple years later. You were like, you quit. Well, not a couple years later, but you were like, you quit. How did you quit? And I was like, I just quit cold turkey. And you were like,
Yeah.
And I was like, I remember I said this to you. I was like, once you decide. You decide.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter. Like you can chew gum and all that. But once you've mentally made that decision that you are no longer taking part in this, then you're just done.
Yeah.
You don't need to wean yourself off anything. You've made that decision.
No,
so
you just fight through it. And it's, I
haven't had a single cigarette since. I've thought about it.
Yeah.
Not in the fact that like, oh, I really want to, but more in like, I wonder what it's like. I know.
Yeah,
and you did. It's just out of that one day that you had a shitty day. But
so in the 10 months, I think I've had 3 cigarettes total.
Totally.
Earlier on, I had like 1 or 2 where I was just kind of like, like it felt weird. So it had been like 6 weeks or 8 weeks or whatever, and then I had a cigarette.
It was like you kind of still have it, but you don't really.
No, but it still felt weird holding it in my hand. I was like, this doesn't feel like it's supposed to be there anymore.
Yeah.
Putting it to my lips, I was like, whereas before it felt like it was a part of me and like natural and like it had always been there.
It was very much natural, yeah.
And then you give it up for 2 months and you're like, oh, this feels weird.
Weird, yeah.
And then that third cigarette was like I had a really, really bad weekend, like super stressful. And there was like this, it had to do with this bunny that we were trying to save and it died. And like I just was like heartbroken. I'm like, oh my God, I just want to feel something different. And like Krista and I were like fighting about some whatever. And it was just like everything was like
at your wit's end.
It was all way too overwhelming. And I was like, I just want to feel bad. Anxiety was big. I was like, I just want to feel better. So I went and bought a pack of cigarettes. I came home. I smoked one. I went in the backyard. I smoked one cigarette. It felt weird. And this is like, we're talking like this was 6 months into having been quit and like no cigarettes. I smoked it. And I was like, okay, that was that. And then I came inside. And it wasn't like I was like, oh, I'm going to pick up smoking again. It was just like I was going to like throw away the rest of the cigarettes anyway. I just wanted one.
Right. But you can't just go buy one.
Yeah. And I had that one cigarette. And as soon as I came back inside, all of a sudden, immediately I'm sweating bullets. And I'm like, what is happening? And I
first smoke rush.
Instantly. No, it was like I instantly felt like sick. Violently ill. Yeah. And I'm like, whoa. So I went and like I stood in the shower. I'm like, please just feel. So it was like everything I was feeling already like compounded into that. Like, let's have a cigarette. Had a cigarette. And it made me feel immensely worse.
Yeah.
So that was 6 months. It was 6 months into like me quitting, but it was that moment where I was like, I will never touch another cigarette in my life, and it was actually good. It was such a good thing that
you did that and went through.
I did that and went through it.
Like close the book on it.
That was like that. You know, I still had the back cover open and I was reading the author's
like,
bio.
Oh, baby.
Okay, book's done.
Yeah,
book's done.
That's
and
good.
so that was that moment with it where it was like, no, I'll never touch it again because it made me feel so sick.
Yeah.
And so that I'm able to like re-trigger that memory in my head now to be like, if I ever even thought about like when things get stressful, if things get stressful and I ever think about like, oh, you know, a cigarette right now would be really nice. that memory can pop into my head where I'm like, nope, that's not going to happen. That's not going to feel nice at all.
Remember fetal position in the shower? That's what's going to come rushing back to you.
Yeah. Well, I've done that a couple times. I did that in the Dominican.
Yeah, it's all good.
Dominican Republic. Sleeping in the shower. Oh, I've had some.
I remember a few times that I've texted you, like when you've been traveling previously, obviously pre-COVID, and I'm like, Link, how's your trip to New York? You're like, just got here, stomach's on the fritz, I've been in the shower for whatever. I've talked to you on a couple trips that you've gone on where you're great, you get there, and then something happens.
I got food the first time we went to New York. The very first night
I remember
we ordered
texting you, and you were just like, I'm literally
dying.
I
had food
poisoning. You're like,
poisoning.
Krista's outside the door right now.
Yeah,
and
I had food poisoning.
Oh, man.
And I've had the amount of times I have gotten sick on a trip
Yes.
that her and I have gone on is horrendous. 6 months into our relationship, we went to Edmonton to go to an Oilers game. And
It's like your curse.
we were staying at West Edmonton Mall. We made it to the game. The game was great. As we were like, oh, let's grab like food on the way home or whatever. And I think we grabbed a McDonald's to take to the hotel. I didn't even get to eat that food because I barely made it back to the hotel.
Oh my
Something
God.
I had eaten, whether it was the Boston Pizza at West Edmonton Mall, whether it was something I ate
Right.
at the game. We got back to the hotel, and I have never had food poisoning like this in my entire life. We had to stay an extra day because
You, like, couldn't drive.
I couldn't. Well, my car was a standard, and she can't drive standard, so she couldn't drive us home. For one, for two, I could not drive because I think I was up until 6 a.m. out both ends for the whole time. It was brutal. I have never been that sick in my entire life since I've had food poisoning since, and I have never been that sick in my entire life. I was so sick. She was on the phone with HealthLink. Like we're 6 months into dating, but this was the moment when I knew that I wanted to like marry this girl because she was taking such good care of me. And like, she's on the phone with HealthLink, and she's like, "Oh my God, I think he's like dying." And they're like, "Just try to introduce like a little bit of like electrolytes into him, or like maybe some crackers." And like anything we introduced into my system was just like
Rejected immediately.
Rejected immediately. It was so bad. There was nothing at the mall open. She was trying to go to the front desk to like find out where she could go to like where's it? She's like, "Where's a gas station so I can get him crackers and Gatorade?"
Like anything, yeah.
And
You're
the
in
dude working the
another
front
city, you don't know anything.
Yeah, she's in it, and the guy at the front desk is like, "I don't know, like I don't live here. I just moved here. I'm working the front." And she's like, "You're helpful, thank you. Can you get me a cab so that I can go?" And he was like, "Okay."
What's a cab?
Yeah, literally. That's what it felt like.
You're like, what are you doing here?
And so she's like, so I'm like sick. I'm worried that she's like out at like 1 a.m, like in a cab going to get me stuff from like a gas.
Yeah.
Just a nightmare.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was 2000 and it would have been the early 2010, I think. February, because it was like for my I don't know. It was like 11 years ago now.
That's funny. I've had a similar. I'm like, food poisoning is one of those things that like, it will make you literally feel like you're dying.
Yeah.
Like I've had colds, flus. I've had all the gamut, just like anyone else. But the most that I thought I was ever really close to dying was when I had really bad food poisoning. I went to Montana's once with like a work party.
Oh, no.
And we ordered wings, and they were like chicken wings, and they were coated like flour coated.
Okay.
And so I just remember we ordered a giant plate, and there was like 50 wings, and there was like 3 of us. So we're going to town on some of these wings, and some of them were like sus. Like when you bite in, you're like, that's borderline, you know?
Undercooked.
Like we were all kind of like looking at the
How do you
wings.
undercook in a deep fryer?
Right? And like that's all you do, and it's timed. Anyways, that night I woke up. That night I was dreaming. I was dreaming that I was getting stabbed in the stomach.
Yep.
That's what I was dreaming about.
Yep.
Then I immediately wake up, and you know immediately your body's like something's wrong.
Yep.
So I get up, I run to the bathroom. And I could only make it into the bathroom to shut the door before my body knows that everything, like you know, when you really have to go to the bathroom and you know that you're in the bathroom and your body's like, "Okay, like it's coming out now."
Yeah.
Because you're in the bathroom and you're like, "But my pants
and
are
your
down."
like stomach cramps up and you're just
So I like threw up into the sink and then immediately came out the back end of me at the same time. And then I was living at home at the time, and it's like 3 a.m. and I'm violently ill in the bathroom, and I hear like. And I'm like, "Hello, yeah." And my mom's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Don't you come in here! Don't you?"
Oh no.
But yeah, that was the worst. And like I was sick for like almost 4 days.
Yep.
Like it was a really long lasting. But I remember being at the doctor's office later that day trying to figure out what was going on. And I'm like, I literally like I don't know what death feels like, but I feel like it feels like this.
Yeah.
You know, like it's one of those things that's just really the worst. So
Yeah, not fun. How did we get onto food poisoning?
I don't know, just random.
Oh, because trips. Yeah, no, New York, the very first day in New York, we flew into New York at night, and we were like so hungry, so we just like picked somewhere to order food from that was called like Empire State Pizza or something like that. And I think we got like a pizza and like I think I got like a cheesesteak or something like that. And the next morning I woke up and I'm laying in bed. I know what it feels like, and I'm laying there and I have the feeling of like I am gonna throw up. I have food poisoning.
Right.
I know that in no time at all that she's in the bathroom getting ready to like go and see New York for the first time and like go have like her first day in New York. She's wanted this for so long, and like New York was one of the places on her bucket list that she wanted to go to so badly.
So very important.
So I'm dealing with the fact that like I'm about to have food poisoning. I don't know how badly, but I am about to have food poisoning, and I'm laying there and I'm feeling guilty and I'm feeling really sick. And I'm like, oh my God. And I fought it for as long as I could until the point where I was like, I have to go into the bathroom. So I like went in there. I was like, you have to leave. And she's like, what? And I was like, I'm really sorry. I didn't know how to tell you this, but I have food poisoning. And I could just see like her whole, you know, when somebody's like, just like.
When you kill their puppy.
Killed everything because like she went from being like so excited to like, oh my God,
She's having flashbacks to Edmonton.
Yes.
She's having flashbacks to all the other times that you've been sick.
Literally. And I could see her whole body slump, and she's like, okay. And I felt so
hey man,
so
not
bad.
Your fault.
But that one worked out because it was only half a day.
Okay. That's
it
good.
wasn't.
It didn't like ruin the whole trip.
No, it did not ruin the whole trip.
Good.
It literally it ruined the first half of the day because I couldn't eat breakfast, and we could only like. The hotel we stayed at is right across the street from like the big Macy's.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, for the first day, we kind of just didn't leave
that like
the
area.
huge vicinity of the hotel. But like, you know, we were able, the next day I was fine.
Yeah, that's good.
It was just like the first half of that first day that I really, but yeah.
That's funny.
Anyway, we need to stop talking about.
Did you watch SNL?
I didn't watch SNL. I know it was Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
I spent the whole weekend watching Squid Game.
Oh.
So we're done. We're caught up.
Did you watch it?
Oh yeah, we watched the whole thing. I loved it. I thought it was great. It's definitely it needs to be watched, and there's a couple things I want to try from Squid Game.
Okay.
Because I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah. I went into it not thinking that I was gonna like it as much as I did.
What, Squid Game?
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Because
Korean storytelling
is
amazing.
That's fair. I was late on it too. I basically watched it over the last week. Mm-hmm. So everyone it had already been out and everyone was already enjoying it or whatever.
I was pushing Krista to like watch it. I was like, because we were watching it together, and I'm like, can we just watch it? And she was like, it's a nighttime show. But by the time she wanted to watch it at night.
That's fair.
When she can like see the TV and there's no like sun glare on the TV. Okay. But for me, I'm just like, I want to get it done because I kept having things spoiled for me.
Oh, just like finding stuff,
just scrolling through like Instagram
gotcha.
And like people posting. Like there was this one girl that I know that she posted. She was completely wrong about what she had posted, but she was like, had the ending of Squid Game ruined for me, and it's like, if you've seen this, then you know exactly what I'm talking. And I was like, why did you post that?
Why do people do that in general?
Well,
why do people do that?
I told her, I was like, spoilers are bad. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't.
Because just because they got spoiled for you, why are you spoiling it for everybody else?
That's where they get the pleasure.
So she like deleted her post, and I was like, thank you for like spoiling it for me for no reason.
But then didn't.
But she didn't though, because what she was posting, I'm like, whatever you saw, I'm gonna have to message her and be like, whatever you saw was completely wrong.
Yeah.
And she's watching because she was like, well, I don't think I'm going to watch it now that it was spoiled or whatever. But now she's watching it. And I'm like, you're going to see that you were completely wrong.
And that you shouldn't have said anything.
And you shouldn't have said anything. You should have just watched it. So anyway, Korean storytelling is so, like, it's so good. Every Korean movie that I've watched.
If it's that underrated, I'm moving to Korea.
You may as well.
Like,
dude, Korea.
Honestly,
have you watched any like Korean movies? Like, have you seen I Saw the Devil?
No, the only one I saw was the Parasite.
You watched Parasite?
Yeah.
Did you watch the whole thing?
Yeah.
Parasite.
That was
incredible.
That was my introduction into Korean film. In any way.
Okay.
I'm a stupid white guy from North America. I don't really know that much about Korean culture or even Korean movies, to be honest. So.
Okay, the first two.
But I was completely blown away.
Fair enough. The first two I want you to watch. I want you to watch Old Boy Okay, and I want you to watch.
Wait, I watched Old Boy. So
Did
I
you
watched
watch the remake?
So I watched both.
Oh, you watched the Korean one too.
I watched the original. I watched no. I watched the white version, the Hollywood version,
the
first,
Spike Lee version, yeah.
And then I found out that there was an original version
Yeah.
that I should watch, and I watched that, and it was way better.
Yeah.
Obviously way better.
Yeah.
But yeah, so my apologies. I did watch Old Boy.
Okay,
but I
fair
haven't
enough.
seen the second one.
I Saw the Devil.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Watch I
Okay.
Saw the Devil. That movie is insane. Insane.
I usually have a problem with foreign movies in the aspect of when it's not in English, and I'm not trying to be a dick, I find it difficult for myself to get into the movie because a lot of like dialogue is like how you say it and some intent behind it. And you don't really get that when it's another language because you can't really tell the gestures behind the language when you're just reading it sometimes. So I find it takes away from the movie for me personally a little bit sometimes. So I was worried about this movie, but it being dubbed in English made
So
it
you
better.
watched Squid Game dubbed in English?
Yes.
Okay, that's the same way that Krista and I watched it too, because Krista didn't want to read it. Like she doesn't want to read it. I would have preferred to watch it in Korean with subtitles.
That's
the
fair.
way I wanted to watch it.
Yeah,
because
that's fair.
Because to me, I understand what you're saying. To me, I feel like I get the better of their performances because it's the voice. I felt like the voice actors, the English voice actors, didn't do a great job. I think they did a fine job, but I don't feel like they did. The problem with dubbing is that they're just trying to match their lip movements too. So like, I feel like it changes the script a little bit as well, and that that bothers me.
I read that they said that the dubbing was actually really bad in this movie because they dumbed it down. So they took the Korean that they were using and then not only didn't use it properly or dumbed it down for us, basically. And so that we're not really getting the full extent of like the descriptiveness in the actual vocabulary that they're using in the movie. So
I want to rewatch the show and like watch it. I want to watch it again, but in Korean this time, and subtitles to see, because that's the way I watch. Like obviously, that's how I watched Parasite, and that's how I've watched all the Korean stuff before that. And it's their storytelling alone. Like Korean storytellers are insane. They're so good.
I didn't think that I was going to get like really into the acting, but like I was definitely into it.
And that's why I didn't like the English dubbed version. So that one girl with the long hair that kind of hooked up with the one guy, I didn't like her portrayal by the English woman at all.
Yeah.
I thought, I was like, I'm like, sure, she's crazy, but like, I was like, I want to see what the actual Korean version of that is, because the lady who's dubbing her voice is just trying to match her like intensity like and stuff like that, and it's like, and it doesn't translate well to English. It doesn't, and whereas I feel like in Korean it would have been so much better.
Yeah, that's fair.
So much better. So yeah, I watched Squid Game's great. Go watch Squid Game. SNL with Kim Kardashian. I had no interest in watching it, and then I heard that she did a good job. No, I didn't see anything.
So can you, just so that we can, I just want you to have a snippet of her opening monologue. So if you go to trending Twitter, so just type in like trending Twitter, and then on the main page, it should have her full monologue on the Twitter.
Trending on Twitter?
Yeah. I just saw it previous to, and I wanted you to play like, because I wanted to see like her opening monologue. And I'm not a Kim Kardashian fan. I'm not like, but I watched her full monologue this morning.
Okay.
And I was like impressed with how well she did. She did a really good job, man. Like it was really funny anyways. So I was just like,
Kim Kardashian SNL monologue. Because
should be about 4 minutes, but we don't have
well,
to
this
watch
is
the
a
whole
minute
thing.
and a half.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's on CNN Business, which is hilarious.
Really? That's random.
I'm just kidding, guys. I'm not running for president. We can't have 3 failed politicians in one family.
Oh, wow. Oh, come on. I just want to watch the whole...
But yeah, she like, dude, pulls no punches. Like...
Oh, here we go. Oh, I don't want to get demonetized for... Oh.
I think you can play it in the background. It's fine.
I'm Kim Kardashian West. and it's so great to be here tonight.
Okay,
I
here we
know.
go.
I'm surprised to see me here too. When they asked, I was like, "You want me to host? Why? I haven't had a movie premiere in a really long time."
That's what. Wow.
I mean, actually, I only had that one movie come out, and no one told me it was even premiering. It must have slipped my mom's mind.
All right.
I'm excited to be here tonight to show you guys that I'm so much more than just a pretty face. And good hair, and great makeup, and amazing boobs, and a perfect butt. Basically, I'm just so much more than that reference photo my sister showed their plastic surgeons. But the one thing I'm really proud of is that no one could ever call me a gold digger. Honestly, I'm not even sure how you become one. So I asked my mom's boyfriend, Corey.
Holy shit. All right.
Right? Like pulling it all out right
I've
now.
been very lucky in life, and I know that I'm privileged, which is why I try to give back as much as I can. A real passion of mine is getting wrongly accused people out of jail. And thank you.
All right.
You know, I think I'm following in my father's footsteps. Now, you know, my father was and still is such an influence and inspiration to me, and I credit him with really opening up my eyes to racial injustice. It's because of him that I met my first black person. Want to take a stab in the dark at who it was? I know it's sort of weird to remember the first black person you met, but OJ does leave a mark. Or several. Or none at all. I still don't know. But listen, I'm an influencer, so I understand that the things that I say carry weight. But, you know, I would never tell anyone what they can or can't do. Remember, I'm a Kim, not a Karen. And honestly, with all of the K names, it's really impressive that my mom didn't pick Karen. I mean, somehow she just knew. I don't know how she saw that one coming and not Caitlyn. Now I know we're divided as a country, but I'd love America to come together. Which is why I'm here to announce that I'm running for, I'm just kidding, guys.
Oh, God.
I'm not running for president. We can't have 3 failed politicians in one family. I've been very blessed in this life, and I'm grateful for everything. Honestly, all the ups, all the downs. I mean, I married the best rapper of all time.
All time.
Not only that, he's the richest black man in America. A talented, legit genius who gave me 4 incredible kids.
That's good. That's good that she's.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the
So,
punchline.
when I divorced him, you have to know it came down to just one thing. His personality. I know that sounds mean, but people keep telling me that comedy comes from truth. And if there's one thing that I always strive to be, it's genuine. So I just want to say how incredibly excited I am to be up here on this stage tonight. I mean, I'm so used to having 360 million followers watching my every move. And I mean, how many people watch SNL? Like 10 million? So tonight is just a chill, intimate night for me.
Just a chill,
We have a
intimate
really
Sunday
great show
night.
for you tonight. Halsey is here. So
Wow.
Yeah, dude. I was impressed.
That's
like
killer.
given kind of like
the thing is, I don't think, but she like there's so many writers on SNL.
yeah,
She didn't write that,
No,
but
that's-
she's absolutely like clear.
selling it.
She's selling it for what? Well, she's good at like she's been in front of a camera long enough that she can sell anything. She's absolutely she approved all of those jokes. Those
Yep.
jokes were written for her for sure.
100%.
But that OJ thing, oh my God, that was amazing. And like all of the punches she threw
At her family?
At her family. Oh my God, her mom's boyfriend, amazing. Absolutely. That does actually kind of like
It makes me think of her as having someone who actually has a sense of humor.
oh, they all have I mean, they have to.
I think that when you're famous, you either do or you don't. You either take yourself way too seriously, or you can have a relaxed kind of viewpoint of yourself.
The
And I
amount
think,
of shit that she has
Oh my
had
God,
thrown at her
yes.
just for being Kim Kardashian.
how about every day? Trolls and haters and everything.
Exactly. Like she has to have they all have to have a good sense of humor. And I mean, not like to the point where they're literally like letting everything slide off their back, but it's like where she can poke fun at herself.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah.
You know, if she had gone on there and she was like taking it super seriously and just
Yeah.
like I'm the best and I'm the blah blah blah. Like
'Cause I've
that makes her come across less vapid and like
Totally.
airheaded than people think she is.
Right.
Because like I don't think she's. I mean, yeah, a privileged white girl for sure. But it's like that does give her a little bit of. That gives her some credit in my eyes for sure.
They were saying too, like the skits that they were in following her intro and stuff was a really good episode. I guess the numbers have been slumping really hard for SNL lately.
Oh yeah.
So I didn't know that until recently. So
Well, SNL
down like 30%.
Well, SNL's kind
That's
of
like a lot, man.
Yeah, but SNL's kind of a that's like that SNL is like what my dad watched, you
Sure.
know, and even then I watched when I was a kid, like growing up and stuff like that. But it's like today's era, they're trying to, they still have to appeal to their audience of like the older generation, but they're also trying to appeal to the younger generation too. So like I can see that, yeah, like them slumping by 30% makes sense because they're caught in this weird like TikTok generation versus Gen Z, and it's like who do you
So do you think they need
cater
like
to?
a restructure? Do you think kind of like
Well, I
to
don't know.
switch it
It's
up
just
a
kind
little
of
bit? Or?
well, it's just kind of like who do you cater to?
Yeah.
Because
But they got Pete Davidson. He's funny.
yeah. Well, everybody, but that's the thing. Everybody loves Pete Davidson, but even then, it's like how I don't know, man. I don't really watch it anymore. Like
We used to be all about it. I
Oh,
would
yeah.
watch it every Saturday. I know you would. Sometimes we would text
And-
about it. Be
yeah,
like,
and
oh, this is
I'm
good, this is
kinda-
bad. But I haven't watched it for a while.
and I don't have cable either, so it's kind of hard
too,
to
yeah.
watch it that way too.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of their problem is that they
They
make
need to
it
get it
really hard to watch it because if you wanted to watch the episode, it's not available in Canada. You can't watch the YouTube videos in Canada.
It's not even out now. I tried looking for it
Yeah, because
yesterday on
in
Sunday.
the States. You can look at
And they have last week's episode. So they have the October 3rd episode or whatever, 2nd.
yeah.
So then I was looking yesterday. So it's Sunday. So it should be
Yeah.
out by 24 hours already. I can't find it on Crave, Apple TV. I can't find it anywhere. I
Yeah.
can't find it. It'll be released obviously sometime this week.
Yeah.
But there's that delay.
Yeah.
It's like
Well,
every
and-
other show you can watch
yeah.
the hour after it's out.
Yeah, and the fact that the only way for us to watch clips in Canada is what they share on their Instagram.
Right.
Because their YouTube channel is blocked outside of the US. And
Yeah.
I don't understand why.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know.
Weird.
But that is one of the better monologues I've seen
Right?
in a while,
Yeah.
and she does sell it really well.
did a good job.
I have seen so many hosts that have gone on there that have like botched their opening monologue, where did they? And oh man, it's just like there's been so many bad opening monologues in recent years where like once in a while, like Adam Driver's episode was really good. Adam Driver went on there and he killed it. But then it's just like then they have like somebody like Tom Brady, or they have somebody like, somebody that cannot carry the weight of like of hosting.
Yeah.
That's why they have Justin Timberlake, who's hosted like 7 times, and like all those
Alec
people,
Baldwin and stuff.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like
yeah.
all those people that have hosted so many
they're
times
really good at it.
because they can carry the show
Totally, 100%.
on there along with the cast. Also, I don't know how much of the cast that I'm in love with beyond Pete Davidson. Like Pete Davidson's great, and then beyond that, I don't even know who's on the show.
Kenan Thompson.
Is Kenan Thompson still on the show?
He played OJ on this skit, on one of the skits.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense.
He's been there forever.
Well, he's kind of the Tim Meadows. Do you remember Tim Meadows of that era? Tim Meadows was on the show for like 15 years.
crazy.
Like Tim Meadows was like Tim.
What would it
was
feel like
Tim
to
Meadows.
have all these people come onto the show and leave and come and leave, and you're still there?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? You have
Yeah, I
all these
know.
people that are coming. Now they're doing film. They're doing
Yeah,
TV.
but the thing
they're
is
making
like for
music.
Kenan
they're
Thompson, man, that's great. He's still collecting a huge because once he has to have been there for at least 15 years at this point.
Should be, yeah.
Like
pretty damn
we're
close.
talking mid 2000s he joined.
Yeah.
And before, you remember how, like when they're announcing the cast at the beginning and it's like all the main cast members and then
this-
with
yeah.
and like Kenan Thompson used to be with Kenan
Yeah.
Thompson.
Yeah.
Like he used to be one of those people and now he's main cast and
Yeah.
has been main cast
Yep.
for at least 12 years if not longer.
Yeah.
And you got to think like the contract negotiations that he's doing every year to be on that show. Like he's probably just sitting in that nice pocket where he's not asking for too much money to do it, but also just enough where they're like, yeah, we'll keep him around, whatever. Like the audience loves him. I would not be surprised if he leaves the show within the next, well, I was going to say 5 years, but like, honestly, like, not that he's overstayed his welcome, but it's just kind of like, at a certain, like, I don't know.
I see him when he's on there. I'm like, here we go.
But like,
what's up with that? I'm like, I don't care.
Are they still doing What's Up with That?
I don't know, but I don't care.
Yeah.
And a lot of his, like, I'm not trying to put him down. I'm just not one of my favorite people on SNL. That's all. But
no, that's fair. And yeah.
Must be hard just to watch people come and go. That's all. Oh, you made a Ghostbusters movie? Cool. I'll be right here. Like, you're watching all these people, your peers, like, move on. And, like, I'm sure he's happy where he is. I'm sure he's happy making good money. I'm sure he's happy with the exposure from SNL. But you're watching these people that your peers on the show grow. And
wait, who was in the Ghostbusters movie that?
All the girls.
Oh, you're talking about the one from
girls.
2016. Yeah.
Just saying you're watching all these people
and,
make movies and do all these different things. And now you're just sitting on the show. And that's the
thing. I don't think anybody's knocking on his door to, like, have...
No.
Kenan Thompson.
Hey, we need you in this movie, bud.
Yeah, and
like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, maybe he's a bit treading water right now. Like, he's just kind of just treading water.
I'm not really sure.
Hanging out.
I'm not really sure.
But yeah, anyways, I was surprised to see him in the. But that's playing OJ in one of the skits.
And I mean, but my point being that he's probably not. I would assume that at this point in his career, he's like one of the senior castmates, so he's probably not there. Like, he's probably not doing the same crazy hours that some of the younger castmates and like some of the ones that have only been there for like one season. Like, I'm sure they're doing like the crazy, like, oh my God, we're working
trying
like
to set their characters down. And
like, I'm sure he's just kind of like shows up and like, what, we're doing What's Up with That? All right, what's up with that? All right, I'm Kenan Thompson.
Did you see Madonna? Side note, did you see Madonna on Jimmy Fallon?
No. When was that?
Oh my God, just recently. She like, I guess I read about it, and she like flashed the audience and flashed her. She lifted up her skirt. Oh. She laid on his desk and like violently humped his desk, like wiped everything off his desk and laid on it and gyrated on it. He took his coat off and like put it on her to try and like cover her up because she was like half naked, acting like she's 60 years old.
Amazing. Yeah, I'm seeing like a little bit. Yeah, there she goes.
60 years old or
and
whatever. He's literally flabbergasted.
He looks uncomfortable.
Instantly uncomfortable.
Oh, he looks very uncomfortable.
But look how she's acting.
Oh, like, wow.
Who acts like that?
Well,
just crazy.
Yeah.
Like, you don't do that.
I don't know. It's Madonna. Oh, well, okay. In Madonna's case, I think she's trying to build up some more relevancy because she hasn't been relevant in... How many years has it been since Madonna's been relevant? So many years.
Yes.
So that, to me, that just seems like it's all publicity.
100%.
It's all just like, oh, now we're talking about Madonna. But do you think we're still going to be talking about Madonna next week?
Hell no.
No. Well, thank you for watching along with us on this Thanksgiving week. We will be back next week. Absolutely. Same bat channel, same bat time with a whole other set of topics. And I want to leave you with, actually, I took a screenshot of it, and what I want to leave you with is something I saw last week that I was going to bring up that I forgot. But I took a screenshot of it because I thought it was really dumb. And also, I was kind of like, why is this news? It's like one of the, like, do you ever see like headlines?
I see stuff all the time. I'm like, did I need to know this?
Yeah,
is this what we're reporting on now?
Yeah, it was one of those
like slow news days.
Literally, it was one of those where it was like, why is this news? Why? Oh, here we go. This is from October 3rd. Because everyone's, you can swipe over on Apple News and you can see like the headlines or whatever. Yeah. So the headlines for that day, one was Grimes spotted reading Communist Manifesto after Elon Musk split. Who cares? Blake Shelton shares heartfelt birthday tribute for wife Gwen Stefani. In quotations, I love you. Great, grand, wonderful. You broke.
He loves his wife?
Yeah, I know, right? What an asshole.
Oh my god.
Well, no, she broke Gavin Rossdale's heart, so I don't
Right.
like her anymore.
No, he cheated on her with
No,
the
he
nanny.
didn't.
Yeah, he did.
Gavin Rossdale.
cheated on her with the nanny.
Bush.
Yes.
No, he didn't.
Bush X.
Bush
X.
X. Bush X. Gavin Rossdale is a sweetheart and one of the best
Cheated on Stefan's.
whatever. This is Damian Lewis exits Billions after 5 seasons. Oh no, I haven't watched Billions, but
I watched like the first 2 episodes and was like,
well, that is a big exit for that show because he's like the lead in the show. So I don't know what that show's gonna do.
I was like, oh, I can't sleep. I'll put Billions on.
But then this last one was
Where are we going with this?
and Anderson Cooper reveals 17-month-old son Wyatt loves feet. That was the headline.
What?
I wanted to read that last week where I was just like, why is that news? Like, I get it's ET Canada, but
and
it's
how
like,
do you know a 17-month-old likes feet? Like likes his own feet?
Yeah, but that's the thing is like I didn't read
Likes
beyond
dad's feet?
I didn't read beyond the headline.
Likes
of it
Uber
being-
drivers' feet?
Yeah, because I don't know if it's like you know how like some people
Foot
are
fetish.
like
Yeah,
foot fetish
yeah,
thing,
yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
like. I'm like,
Is he
okay,
foot
as a
fetishing his
7,
son?
well, that's what I was like.
Yeah.
That's such a weird
That's
headline, and like,
very weird.
But it's probably innocent enough to the point where it's just like, oh yeah, he likes like touching people's feet and like kind of just like crawling around, blah. But it's like, what a weird fucking headline.
Yes.
What a weird headline, and
All
and
of
another
that news you listed, no
exactly,
one cares.
and I'm just like, why is any of this news? Why?
That's weird.
So anyway, that's what I want to leave everybody on this week is that Anderson Cooper's 17-month-old kid loves feet.
So if you ever meet him, take your shoes and socks off.
Yes, absolutely. So for this episode of the Mini Pirates podcast, I'm Lincoln.
I'm A-Bomb.
We'll catch you next week.